And we are live.
And I am sick.
He's very sick. Should have seen him earlier today. He was
blow my nose
dying.
on camera.
Yeah, he was definitely dying.
Not dying a whole lot, just dying a little bit.
He's only mostly dead.
Only mostly dead.
Mostly dead.
Mostly dead.
Quoting
Can we move this?
Yeah. Like where?
So it's a little more... Yeah, that's better.
I mean, I need to be in the shot too. So anyway, it's Thanksgiving week, everyone. And because it's Thanksgiving week, that means only one thing. I will be leaving. Forever.
Forever. Gone.
Forever and ever. At
Bye.
least until next Saturday.
Yeah.
When I return from being gone forever. See, there's a couple people already watching. If you're here, please say hi so we know who's there. I'm going to be headed up to Virginia tomorrow with my family to go see my in-laws.
Hey, rocking all the time.
And so we'll be gone for a few days. Ross will be staying behind.
I will be here.
Because he is not welcome at my in-laws' house, for they do not know him.
They have no idea who I am.
So, who knows? One day maybe we'll do like a multi-state Thanksgiving sort of thing.
But, so Thanksgiving is this week, which means that you have the opportunity to eat a massive amount of food, which is, depending on your goals, a good thing or a bad thing or a neutral thing. So it really just depends on what your goals are here. Because
if you don't have any goals,
then it doesn't matter.
No one cares.
Exactly. So for Duffy here, for instance, he is going to be watching what he eats during Thanksgiving meal and the day after.
My biggest problem with that is not actually Thanksgiving Day. It's not eating out on the trip up and the trip back, because it's like really simple to just go ahead and eat all the fast food in the world, because there's like a million of those on the way from here to, well, I'd say to Virginia, but really in any direction. You're going to come across 100 McDonald's and Wendy's and Zaxby's.
Especially if you're driving for 6 hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's a 6-hour trip, so that presents plenty of opportunities to eat poorly, which is why this year we are going to have food that we made at home in little Ziplocs to take with us. And, hey, I'm hungry. Well, this isn't going to kill me, so I can eat the sandwich. But no mayo, as I learned the hard way.
Yeah. So, I don't know if we told that story. We were at the, when we were in Nashville, we were buying stuff to make sandwiches. And he picked up a thing of mayo.
I was saying, we have everything else we need. I need mayonnaise, though. Okay. And Ross was saying, no, you don't need mayo. You don't need mayo. And I said, okay, gosh, if I don't pause, that's going to bug me. No, sorry. So I said, no, I need mayo. And I pick up the mayonnaise bottle. I look at the calories, and I immediately sat it back down because it was just way too much.
He had no idea how many calories were in a serving of, or how small a serving of mayonnaise actually is.
Mm-hmm. So that was a lot. So what I wound up doing was to flavor my sandwiches, because I don't really feel like just meat on bread is that flavorful. I took red wine vinegar for my condiment and onions and tomatoes, and that really helped make it taste really good for me. So be sure to find something that is tasty for you that isn't going to completely screw up.
Yeah. So when you are going to Thanksgiving, if you're trying to watch what you're eating, portion control is probably your most important thing. Make sure that you are not overloading yourself. You don't want to eat until you're sick. Try to avoid super big desserts, as much as the pumpkin pie, the apple pie, the sweet potato crunch thing is going to be amazing. If you're going to have some, just have a little bit. Turkey's your friend, ham's your friend. They're going to have the protein there, and they're not going to be as calorie dense as some of the other things. Try to stay away from large portions of stuffing, rolls, because it's easy to just like pound the bread, and then next thing you know, you're asleep on the couch in a carb coma. Gravy is a huge source of calories, not when you don't realize it, because it's made with fat and carbs, and it's just the fat is going to add those calories pretty quickly. So green beans, you can just like pound that stuff, as long as it's not made with bacon grease, because that's going to be a whole bunch of additional calories that you weren't anticipating. So vegetables, actual vegetables are going to be good. So not corn, because that's a grain, not beans, and actually not even green beans, but the green beans are pretty low on the calorie count. So if you can try to avoid overeating is your biggest thing. You know, if it fits your macros, if you can keep it in your calorie count, then you are good to go. It might be one of those days to try out intermittent fasting, not eat breakfast, slam your food, pass out, wake up the next day. So make sure you work out too. So if you get a workout in early in the morning, that's going to be a good thing to do, because most, we're having something around like 1 o'clock at my aunt's house, and then we're having our own thing at my house at 7. So that gives me the morning time to be able to kind of get in some stuff workout-wise. If you guys have any questions about how to stay good during the holidays, or how to, manage your eating, I'd be happy to answer those questions if you want to drop those in there. We've got a couple of questions that people asked. On our previous live stream. We'll pull up those comments here in just a second, and we will address those. But we
things I was not prepared.
Kind of wanted to have just talk about the holiday stuff for right now until before we got to that other stuff. So, like I said, if you have any questions about the about holiday stuff, or what how you should eat, or not kill your family, then
that's a bad thing.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't go to jail. What?
I'm just wondering, where are these questions that we have from last live stream?
We had when we had the not the last live stream, but the one that was
before that.
Yeah, the one before that. We had somebody drop some questions on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay, there was one question. Okay.
One question.
All right, so Scott Bloomfield asked, what anime do you think is best for getting exercise ideas? I know DBZ, Ippo, and Baki are good, but any others? So if you have questions about that, there's a crap ton of information that I've got at realanimetraining.com.
Recently redesigned to look a little bit more appealing to the eyes.
A little bit better.
But to be fair, Blogger
does not give a lot of options for that kind of stuff.
We're doing the best we can, folks. We're doing the best we can.
Yeah, that's why we've got our new website, nextlevelstuff.com, and so we've kind of like got a link to Real Anime Training on there, so you can still direct yourself to the old blog, but which is still being updated, albeit rather slowly. So anyway,
name at least one for us.
So we get DBZ, Ippo, Grappler Baki. Let me see here, and then there's some stuff in Naruto, but you can go ahead and pull up Real Anime Training really quick, just so that I can kind of give you the top ones.
Sorry, question. We'll be right with you.
Yeah, we'll be right with you, Chloe.
What?
Okay,
there we go.
All right, so go to Workout Master Post.
Sure.
Yeah.
So for those of you who have not been following, I am not Jonathan. Chris, I saw that.
So some good stuff there. History Strongest Disciple Kenichi, the Avatar series, The Last Airbender, and Legend of Korra. They're good stuff. There's a lot of good stuff there. Let's see here. Some stuff from Street Fighter. There's some good stuff there. All of it's really good, but when I'm saying stuff is things that I have the most of. So go ahead and go back up.
I'm not that involved in the Real Anime Training side of things.
One Punch Man has a lot of different stuff in it. Hajime no Ippo is obviously a lot of stuff. Fairy Tail, good stuff there too.
Steven Makes Stuff Up is a category.
Yeah, that is. I just made some workouts up, just put them up there. Check out realanimetraining.com. Go to the right-hand side, click on Workout Master Post. You'll find a whole bunch of stuff there. Check that out. If you have any requests for workouts there, you can just leave a comment on one of those posts, or you can leave a comment on this video, and I will try to make some workouts there as soon as possible. To answer your question, Chloe, is it bad to fast if you've never fasted? Well, the short answer is you are already fasting if you're not eating. So In between breakfast and lunch, you're fasting. In between dinner and breakfast, when you sleep, you're fasting.
And that's why you break fast in the morning.
But I understand what you're saying. I'm not trying to be a jerk or a jackass here. So what I mean is that it's not a bad thing to try fasting. If you have never fasted before, make sure that you are that you still have access to food.
Language.
Okay. Still have access to food, and so that you're not starving. It's like, no, if your blood sugar drops and you need to eat, then you have that available to you. But fasting, just drinking, just make sure that you're drinking water. If you need something to keep your blood sugar stable, you can have just a little bit, like some fruit. But I think more than just fasting, I think intermittent fasting is probably better, only because it allows for you to get the benefits of the autophagy that occurs at the beginning of fasting, which is just kind of like the breakdown of fat cells for the utilization of energy, without necessarily going too far into being catabolic with your muscles, which means that your liver is stripping the lean mass off your skeletal structure, your muscles, in order to feed your organs. And we want to try to avoid that as much as possible. But, in the wild, humanity would not necessarily have 3 square meals a day. We might not even eat every day. So missing a meal, missing a day's worth of meals, is not necessarily a problem. If you are conditioned to eat every day, or every 2 hours, every 3 hours, your first attempt at fasting is going to be terrible. You're going to feel like you're dying. But you will adapt to it. Your body's very adaptable. So there's a lot of research and information out there for you to be able to learn about fasting, so please check that out. And Duffy is now reading a comic book because I am long-winded.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, are you done?
I'm done.
Oh, okay, there we go. So, So with the weekend coming up here, so people are going to have a very long holiday weekend. We're glad to answer any questions. He's definitely glad to answer any questions. It makes him feel good about himself. To do
what's going on for me. What?
So let's talk about what we did today. Today, Ross and I went out into the wild, and I had upon my shoulders a backpack.
It was pink.
Filled with food. Yes, it was pink because it was a diaper bag. It was the only backpack I could find. And I stuffed that thing with some homemade sandwiches, and as well as some cookies that we got. And the idea was to go out into the wild, find those in need, and give them food. Wouldn't you believe it? We only found one group of people that actually needed food, and every other block we went on.
It was really frustrating because we found them in the first 10 minutes of looking. And then,
right, this is a good sign.
Yeah, we're going to find all these people to give food to, and then...
we came back, I still have 20-something sandwiches.
Yeah, we did not run into as many people as we thought we were going to.
I had 21 sandwiches, and I have 18 in that bag right now. It's ridiculous that we couldn't find them.
We went through all the major areas where we normally see homeless people.
I suppose that's a good thing because, you don't want there to be, homeless people. You don't want people to be, having that misfortune. But it's also I know I see when you don't have money, you don't have anything to help.
There's no change, or you don't have any dollar bills.
That's when you see all the homeless people, and they're all looking at you we need help, and I'm like, I really don't have anything. But then you go out there, and you're all these people are going to help them out. You're going to be in the spirit of Thanksgiving, and guess what? They're hiding. I feel bad about that, but I'm glad that
Hello, Jane,
no one. I guess part of me is oh, that's a good thing. Greenville doesn't have the big homeless problem.
So either we don't have as many homeless people in Greenville as we thought, or the shelters are doing a really good job. Which that's either way, good on you, Greenville. You are taking care of business.
So we got plenty of footage of me walking around with a very heavy backpack on me. That's going to be just about all you see for that section. People in the chat are saying hi to each other now. Cool, we got community going on. JD9Craft, you're famous, I guess. So that was today. We spent 3 hours or more probably out there doing all that, and my back is killing me. So if anyone has any idea of where you could go to give food like that, 'cause I know a lot of places will turn you down and say, no, we can't accept food donations. for whatever reason. I mean, I guess, when it comes to homemade stuff, you have to question it's safe.
Yeah.
But then you've got places that, like, if you give them, like canned food, unopened canned food or something like that, they'll still say, no, we don't want that. And I know there's probably some reason to it, although I can't imagine what a good reason for that would be.
I think the main reason for that kind of stuff is that when you give them money, that allows them to be able to take care of whatever their particular needs are without having an overabundance of things given to them that they don't actually need.
Right. You also, when you give them money, they can actually take a percentage out of that for themselves.
I understand that, and with a shelter that is providing essentially a public service, isn't necessarily a problem.
Well, no. I'm referring more to groups like the Red Cross that have been that we know that we have like statistics showing how they've been mishandling funds and stuff.
Yeah,
but I don't want to get into anything like that right now. That's a bag of worms that we don't need to open up right now. Either way, the point is, glad that Greenville seems to be helping its people properly.
And if any of you are worried about it, no, we are not going to have footage of us handing people food in the show, although we will have footage of Duffy walking around. We don't really want to exploit the
people that we did see.
So, yeah. I mean, it's cool when people go out and they give people food or money or whatever, and you see YouTube videos of that, and that's really nice and everything. But there's verily you have your reward kind of thing.
Do you have any... Okay, so I'm going to read this question.
You can read the question, that's fine.
Because I know that you'll spend about an hour talking about it. Do you have any advice on crafting a healthy diet when there is so much conflicting information on food? For example, are eggs good for you, or the root of all evil? So I'm gonna take a stab at this, and I'm gonna let you fill in the gaps.
That's okay. We're gonna have Duffy's gonna give an essay answer.
Yay! I'm learning. Okay, so to take the example that you gave, are eggs good for you? Eggs are good for you. I know that the problem is you've got a lot of conflicting information, as you said, and a lot of information is outdated. So back in the day, it was, no, all cholesterol is bad for you, so you can't eat eggs. And then it was, well, actually, we just discovered there's good cholesterol and there's bad cholesterol. Eggs have good cholesterol. So as long as you eat the whites of the eggs, you're fine. And now, at this point, it's changed so many times. So to craft a healthy diet, it's primarily about calorie count. Stephen was telling me the first day that he and I got together to talk about nutrition, he was saying that you could lose weight by eating a diet of purely Twinkies. That would work. You'd have to eat very few of them, but it could work. The problem is you wouldn't get the nutrients you need. So my advice would be, if you want to craft a healthy diet, do your research. I know there's a lot of conflicting information, but as long as you're keeping your calorie count under your so I got this right, basal metabolic rate, sort of basic. It's like the amount.
Just say BMR.
Say BMR. BMR, which is essentially the amount of calories you burn just by existing each day. So like, I burn. What's my BMR at?
You're at like 3,100.
So I burn about 3,100 calories a day. I go through that much just by existing. If I eat 3,100 calories a day, then I'm not going to gain any weight. If I eat more, I'm going to gain a lot of weight. But because I don't want to do either of those things, I want to go down, I'm eating 2,200 calories, which should put me at about, especially with workouts included, 3 pounds a week, if not more. So for what you want to do is just you want to keep track of your calories. You want to make sure you're getting protein. You want to make sure you're getting all the nutrients you would get from your vegetables. Eggs, anything in moderation, like eggs, bacon, even sausage. In moderation, these things aren't going to hurt you. They may even be beneficial for you. But as long as, could you eat, a dozen eggs for breakfast and be okay?
I know people that do. And
Gaston, for one.
I know a few people who eat eggs pretty much literally every day. And they seem, one guy who's a doctor, actually, who eats extremely low carb, eats a lot of meat, a lot of eggs, a lot of vegetables, and his vitals are solid. So, it's, some of it is just being aware of the pluses and minuses of all the different foods. And I would say the best diet is one that is broad, one that says a wide variety of different types of food. Genetic diversity in your food is important.
Right, because you're not going to get all the nutrients you need
just from a couple of different sources.
A small category of stuff.
Yeah. So I'd say that's your best option is understand how much food you need for your body and how to perform at whatever it is that you're doing, whether or not it's your life or a sport or a hobby or whatever else it is. Figure out how many calories you need. Craft your diet to meet those calories while fulfilling all of the necessary nutrient requirements that you have and being varied in the sources of those nutrients. That's going to help you stay healthy. Overall, long-term kind of stuff.
Now, as for like the eggs question, we'll get to that in just one sec. Let me start with the eggs thing. So, would you say that like if you're somebody who has a problem with cholesterol, would sorry, I just saw Chris's question. Would eggs just be like a no-no if you had like a really
if you have really bad cholesterol issues, if you have high cholesterol, I mean, there's certain foods that are going to be contraindicated for you, so things that you wouldn't want to eat. That really depends on yourself, which is something else I wanted to talk about is different people are different. So, I mean, we have general rules for the human body, how it operates. Arsenic kills everyone. But there are certain things that, I can't have dairy. I just can't because it will give me a migraine and I get lethargic and I'm done and I can't have it. But for some people, dairy's fine. It depends on the person. There's a lot of, stuff with how we are, we've been, we evolved with our genetics and, just that depends on where we our people came from, wherever your ancestors are from. That helps. That makes a big difference. Also, how you've been conditioned for the majority of your life to eat. That has a play in it. Where you live.
It depends on. There's a variety of factors that will.
You take general rules and you apply them to yourself as best you can, and then you figure out what works best.
So that said, rocking all the time asks. So then, what's your opinion on restricting diets like veganism or paleo? I personally like paleo. I don't think it's that restricting because you get your meat, your vegetables, you get some fruits, you get some carbs. I like it personally. What's your veganism? Obviously, is a lot more restrictive than paleo ever would be. But what would you say about stuff like that?
My thought process is, if it works, then what's the big deal? Mm-hmm. If you want to do it and you're healthy, I don't care. But as far as for instance, in veganism, it's a little bit difficult to get all of your B vitamins. It's harder to get protein as a vegan.
It can affect your muscle mass.
And I know that there are plenty of places to get protein that are plant-based proteins. But to get the amount of protein that you need, sometimes you have to eat a lot of those types of foods. And so it can get hard for people who are not, into vegetables. And so when people say, I'm a vegan, but I'm not real fond of vegetables, they end up eating things that are not necessarily good for them because they happen to be vegan. All right, so I had a vegan peanut butter pie. It was so good because it was vegan. But paleo stuff, I don't have a problem with paleo things. I mean, I feel like their mentality is a little bit, weird, sometimes a little cultish. But I don't have a problem with paleo stuff.
It's the fan base he has a problem with.
But and a lot of their premises are a little odd based because we say humans aren't evolved to eat grains. We've been eating grains for a really long time, and
it's in the Bible.
We've been eating grains for a really long time, and so the fact that we've been eating grains as a culture for such a long as a species for such a long time, we've already adapted to it in many different ways. Should we pound Pop-Tarts all day long? Probably not. But
I think that would be more a sugar issue considering how much sugar the frosting, the film.
But I don't have a problem with paleo. It's really about finding what works for your body type and the activities that you pursue, because certain things are going to be more applicable for other people, certain people than others.
All right. So next question comes from the first shall be last. How do you burn calories while editing? That is actually a very good question and one I can answer right now. I burn about 1/4 of a calorie per night at my desk. Actually, probably more just because I burn calories by sitting here and breathing. So I probably burn, what would you say? Maybe in an hour of editing, I probably burn about, 10 calories?
I'd say
less?
probably about 60.
60 calories.
60 or 70 calories.
See, I'm underselling myself here. So I burn about 60 calories an hour just sitting at my desk editing. Although that's because I'm very heavy, and if I, when I get to the point where I'm not so heavy anymore, it's gonna reap less benefits. But the editing will be better, hopefully, because I will have gotten more practice and learned more skills. That is how I burn calories while editing. Also,
you actually,
moving my fingers.
The way that you burn fat is, I think it's called, it's an oxidative energy system. So what that means is you're breathing in air, you're using that oxygen, and you're essentially igniting, for lack of a better term, the fat that you have in your body, because when you're at rest, that is your primary source of energy. When you're sleeping, it's practically almost 100% fat that you're burning to stay alive, because it's very efficient. But when you breathe out, you're actually part of the stuff that you're breathing out is carbon dioxide. Where that carbon comes from is from that oxidative process. So you're essentially breathing out weight. And so that's why it's a lot harder. Like if you're not doing anything, it's like, well, the weight has to come out. And it's going to come out in the form of your waist and in your breathing.
So with this reminds me of something that happened last night. I tell a little story. I was tired, and there may have been some sickness involved here too. I was really out of it last night. I texted Steven, and you know the YouTube video. There you go. The YouTube video of the kid in the back of the car who just got out of the dentist and was like, "Is this real life?" Yeah. Well, I had a moment like that last night where I texted Steven and I said, "Is potential energy real?"
I thought he was messing with me.
I think part of it was that it wasn't explained very well to me in high school. But I mean, I was serious about that. I was seriously out of it. I was saying, I feel like there's a conspiracy here about how this stuff works. They're lying. Science is lying, and I was out of it so badly. I only got up because you were talking about energy.
That's fine.
So next question comes from JD9Craft. What do you guys think the best way to contain yourself from eating too much junk during times like Thanksgiving and Christmas is? There's really a couple of ways, and we already kind of referenced a little bit about how it's going to be a struggle for some of us. But for me, it's just going to be about saying I'm only going to eat what is good for me. For me right now, I'm in a position where, I really can't let myself wander even a little bit. A year from now, when I've gotten so much better at controlling myself, I'll be able to indulge a little bit here, indulge a little bit there without throwing myself off track. For me, though, it's a matter of, if I have one small cookie, it's going to make me want another cookie.
It's going to
the next day, and the next
snowball.
day, and it's going to snowball until it's out of control. It happened last week, and I'm going to talk about that in the upcoming episode. So, depends on who you are. It might be a matter of, you can have what you want, and you'll be able to stay on track, because you're not going to gain 10 pounds in one evening of eating. But for some people,
you eat 10 pounds of food, and then...
Well, so even in that case, it might be a problem. For me, it's just an issue of I need to stay on target right now because of where I'm at. So that means saying no, even to something small that wouldn't affect me that much, in and of itself. It would affect me in other ways that would mess me up even worse. Steven was telling me this yesterday that what I need to do is every single thing I do, every decision I make.
Real quick before you say that, Chloe, this is going to answer your question.
So every little decision I make is needs to be about my goals. So my goal is lose a lot of weight, put on a lot of muscle, become a totally different person physically, mentally, emotionally. And those are my goals. Eating, one small sliver of a piece of pie at Thanksgiving might not do anything of itself. But is it advancing my goal? No. In fact, it's far more likely to sabotage me than it is to advance my goals. Yeah. So every decision I make, whether it's do I want to eat this small piece of pie, or do I want to get a hot chocolate, or do I want to sit down and play video games when I do have work I could be doing, is it going to help me advance my goal? Even a little bit? Then I need to do that as opposed to doing basically anything else.
And I'm not saying that everybody needs to be as brutal as that. Obviously, Duffy's in a little bit of a different situation than some people. He's got a lot of weight, and we're working on this show, so it's kind of a not only a do or die situation with his health, it's his job essentially at this point. So like in this situation, or somebody who's an actor or somebody who's a professional athlete, they have to be about their workouts and they have to be about their food all the time, and it has to be directly related to their goals all the time. And so I don't want to feel like everyone is thinking that you have to be super militaristic about everything that you're doing for your everyday life. But it's a good thing to think about. Is what I'm doing advancing my goals? Is what I'm doing in line with the things that I want out of life?
And for me, it's got to be more stringent for now at least. Give me a few months, it might not be so stringent. For you, it might not be anywhere near as stringent. All right, right now, the way I have to make decisions for my own sake is very very legalistic in a way. All right, there's not much room
There's not a lot of wiggle room.
There's not a lot of wiggle room. Exactly. It's very legalistic. There's no grace period really for me. I've got to be on top of things at all times, but it won't always be that way. My options right now are do things that way for now and have more wiggle room, have more room for grace in my decisions in a few months and in a year. Or don't worry about it at all right now and die by the time I turn 35. One of these things is a better option than the other.
So that's just about what you want to do. Chloe, popcorn? Okay, so popcorn is like a major weakness of mine. If you took me to the movies and you bought me an extra large popcorn, I would eat the entire thing. So I'm going to say popcorn is not necessarily good or bad for you. I would say it's okay in moderation, which just means, every now and again, if you go to the movies, getting a popcorn's not going to kill you. But you probably shouldn't eat a whole bag of popcorn every day, and you probably shouldn't eat 10 pounds of popcorn when you go to the movie theater.
Bad idea.
Yeah. Well, I salty things, pretzels, popcorn, that kind of stuff, weakness.
So is it good for you if there's no butter on it, or is it okay?
So it's going to be less. So the butter is going to have a lot of fat in it. And if you're talking about how much popcorn is actually there, popcorn is a very low-calorie food by itself. But as soon as you put butter on it, you've got the fat calories there, and that is going to skyrocket that stuff. Much like we talked about in the I think it's episode 3 with the salad. No, it was episode 2. Episode 2 with our salad issue, and I talked about the difference between...
a little bit of dressing. It was like 500 calories.
Yeah, because it was made with oil. And so it can really sabotage you and you not even realize it. So if you haven't seen that, go back and watch episode 2 just so that you can check out... you can kind of get a little bit of a talk on that.
Yeah, so popcorn on that show, what is it exactly made out of?
Corn.
Okay, it's literally just corn kernels. Just dehydrated corn kernels.
Pretty much.
And corn isn't exactly a good vegetable. In fact, it's not even a vegetable.
It's a grain.
It's in the vegetable aisle, but it's not vegetables. So we're back to the whole grain situation of how much, are grains even good for you? Should you be eating grains? And that's just a question that people will be debating for the next 20 or so years and still not coming to a conclusion on. Rock and Roll Time says he could eat 10 pounds of food if he's not paying attention. Same. The question is, are those 10 pounds of food that's good for you, or is it 10 pounds of...
Yeah, because if we're talking... So 10 pounds of food is not the same across the board. So if you ate 10 pounds of, like spinach, for instance, if you ate 10 pounds of spinach, first of all, I don't know how you could eat that much spinach, because it would be like this much spinach.
You eat 10 pounds of spinach, you're going to gain 10 pounds temporarily.
Yeah. Simply
because you have it in you. And then you will relinquish that spinach.
Because not all of it's digestible. So certain foods are more calorie dense than others. Look at peanut butter as a prime example of this. I'm right there with you, Chloe. Prime example of this, peanut butter.
You always had to bring up peanut butter around me. You know that I'm allergic.
I know that, but it's one of the most
Even words make me sick.
One of the most calorie dense things that you can eat, and it will I know people love peanut butter. It's a healthy thing, and they're just like, I want to eat a whole jar of it. But yeah, that will definitely wreck you because almost all of that, the thing that you're eating, is going to be is going to be used for energy, and if not used for energy, then converted into fat storage because it's so calorie dense. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes sense. Working all the time. Oh, well, Chloe says popcorn and chips are her weakness. Says, yeah, I could eat chips all day if you open a bag of it. It's a thing. I'm not a big fan of popcorn. Never really have been. Like, I am okay. I can enjoy it if it's got cheese on it or that caramel stuff on it. Obviously, that stuff's probably even worse than the butter. But that's the only way I can really enjoy popcorn. And even then, I'm really only eating it because it's out there and it's like a food that everyone likes. And I'm just like, I don't dislike it, but it's not really something that I actually would say I like. So just gotta fit in, It's got that peer pressure thing. Like, oh, everyone else is eating popcorn, so I better eat popcorn too.
Well, Duffy should never be around people that use drugs. All right, so Rockin' All the Time says, I actually used to eat really crappy food and then justify it by saying I hadn't eaten that much that day, so it was okay. Big mistake.
Very big mistake.
I get that. I completely understand. As far as like a weight loss kind of thing, if you only ate 1,000 calories during the day, doesn't really matter where those 1,000 calories come from. You'll still probably end up losing weight over that. But for health reasons, yeah, that's probably not a good idea.
What is the best workout, J.D. Nycraft asks, to do for someone that is a lot younger than, say, a high schooler? I've heard that weights and such aren't very good for workouts when you're younger.
Okay, so weights. I lifted weights when I was 11 years old, and I did that because I was a fat kid, and my dad said, "Well, we're gonna, lose weight," and so we did. That's okay, JD. Thanks, JD. You're helping out.
It's a good question.
So, lifting weights as a younger person is not a big deal as long as you are doing it with proper form. The reason that a lot of children ought not lift weights is because they don't know how to handle their bodies properly. They don't know how to move effectively with the weights. They don't know how to have proper lifting form. And it's very easy to hurt yourself if you are not doing things well. And you don't want to have a debilitating injury happen to a 9-year-old that they then have to deal with for the rest of their lives. You can look at it with child athletes who are like busting their butt to go to the Olympics, or busting their butt to go to the the Pee Wee World Series kind of stuff, that end up with rotator cuff injuries and knee injuries that you see in adults, and that's not something you want to like strap to a kid for the rest of their life so that their parents can live vicariously through them. So, okay, that's a different topic. I can rant about that for a while. That's irritating. Sure.
No, when I actually was 12 years old, I think, when I started lifting weights. My grandfather had a gym in his basement. And it was a great gym. He had so much stuff there. My grandfather was and is still one of the most in shape people I know. Even in his 80s, he's really in shape. He's got it down. And he tried to introduce me to lifting weights with the big bar thing.
Barbell.
The barbell where you lay down on the thing and you lift it up and
doing bench press and stuff.
Bench press. See, I don't even remember what
they were we haven't started Duffy on weightlifting yet, so he doesn't know all the terminology.
Now, recently, you want to talk about someone lifting weights young? I was downstairs recently, and I was lifting a kettlebell, doing those things where you have your elbow on your knee. I was lifting the kettlebell.
Concentration curl?
Sure.
Okay.
Whatever you want to call it. And we actually have a little 1-pound mini kettlebell. My daughter walks up and sees me doing that, and she sees the 1-pound kettlebell, and she grabs it with one hand, and she picks it up and starts putting it up and down, up and down. It was really cute. Probably wasn't benefiting her at all, but it was cute. What?
All lift is benefit.
That's right. Okay. Sorry. I'm sorry.
All right. So we've still got 3 people watching, which I'm very thankful for.
Woo!
Thanksgiving. So if you have any other questions, then we would be happy to hear them. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, Ross and I have been talking for a while about doing some sort of giveaway. And we've mentioned it on live streams before. We were talking about us doing something like that someday. We have finally picked out a prize, and I I think we will announce it. We'll give a little early announcement at the end of this live stream. But Chloe has a question. I'm 15. Oh, it might not be a question. I'm not sure yet. I'm 15, by the way, and I want to eat healthier. But in a family of 5, it's not easy because they buy the food and my mom makes supper, so it's not easy. I totally get that.
No, I get that. When you are a child, you are at the mercy of your parents and the way that they raise you, which is not necessarily. I mean, that I'm not saying like that. Oh no, like they're doing bad things to you or anything. But when they feed you, that's how they feed you,
and you don't really get a say.
You don't really get a say in
usually.
That. The one thing you can do is if you're having an issue with like if with your weight, is just portion control, which is not a something that you can kind of learn on your own. And then the other is, making good choices when you can. So, I mean, if there are more vegetables, eat more vegetables. If there is lean meat, eat lean meat. If there's a whole, boatload of white mashed potatoes there with butter in them, maybe pass on that. So it's just, making choices within the realm that you can make them. Control the controllables. Your controllables. Control them.
So, it's just a matter of who your family is, what their habits are. That's going to affect you severely. So I grew up in several different households with several different families. And so I experienced that in a very interesting way. There was one year where the family ate a certain way, and I wound up losing a lot of weight and essentially becoming emaciated. And then another household I lived in, they didn't eat like that, and so I gained a lot of weight rather quickly. So there's only so much you can control. So like Ross says, control the controllables. Also get in the habit of when you control the controllables to always do it to your benefit.
Yes.
Because the second I had I had money and I had the autonomy to actually be able to go out and do stuff and buy whatever I wanted, to a certain degree, with what money I had, I immediately started eating out. And that is part of one of the contributing factors to how I look now. So build good habits now with what you can.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you want to regret it like I do.
Absolutely. One of those, if you're 15, one of those habits is going to be learn how to cook. Doesn't matter who you are, boy, girl, whatever. Learn to cook. Cook your own food. That's a really important task. Because if you don't know how to cook and you can't prepare your own meals, it's going to be a lot harder for you to be able to control the controllables.
Yeah, when you're on your own and if you haven't learned how to cook, what's easier? Trying to learn how to cook when you're the one paying for the groceries, or just calling up the pizza shop or going down to a fast food place?
Yeah, because if you buy a bunch of food and you're already hungry and you go to cook it and you burn it, I guarantee you're going to throw that through the window and then go get a pizza.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be a big problem. So,
all right, next question.
JD Ninecraft, when do you guys plan to introduce the new character and origin story?
Within a couple of weeks.
Probably, yeah. We are still getting some footage for that. It's right now it's mostly me, obviously, and we brought Lindsay in a couple weeks ago, and so we're gonna bring in the new character soon enough. Also, Rockin' Doll of Time asked, would you guys ever consider uploading more episodes of Origin Story per week? Boy, would I love to, but I also don't know how that would work. I mean, each episode is about
that's sort of why
week.
we do the live streams and sort of why we do little things in the middle of the week so you can kind of see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But
I want to upload more videos every week. I want to upload as many videos as I can make. But I'm the one who does all the editing. I'm the one that does most of the filming.
And if you guys want more videos, obviously, one of the things that you can do is just share the ones that we've made already. Because the more audience that we have, the more we can justify spending a crap ton of time doing this.
I want to make as much as we can, which is why we did the Justice League talk, the review live stream thing that we did. That's why we're doing this live stream. I've got a book over here where I'm writing down ideas for small videos we can make. I noticed a lot of people actually prefer the 8 to 12 minute episodes of Origin Story, and so our 6-minute one wasn't actually to their liking. So I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that people prefer the longer episodes. That tells me that we're doing a good job. I know there's always the question of, I always have the problem of, okay, is this a good idea for the episode? Is it going to be super cringy? Is it going to make people go, I don't even want to watch anymore. Click off. So I got to figure that out. I'm still trying to get into a groove of figuring out a good format for the show.
And if you guys want to help us build the show and kind of have a say in how we do stuff, consider becoming a patron. We really listen to our patrons and the suggestions that they make, and we would love to make content that is specifically for you guys. Obviously, we try to make content for everybody, but we really take into account the people who are, kind of paying us to do this.
All right, so that's a good place to get off onto the whole giveaway thing. But first, Rockin' all the time mentions that he agrees you should learn how to cook. He's a university student, and everyone there subsists off of noodles. Yeah, I know. I remember being in college, and like everybody had just like bought packs and packs of ramen. I'm like, you guys can't possibly be living off of this stuff. It's just ramen, just noodles in chicken broth. I'm not even sure if the chicken broth. I mean,
sometimes people, you got to do what you got to do. Yeah. I mean, but it is.
I mean, I'm sure ramen is better than going to McDonald's every day. No?
Well, when it depends on what...
Financially, at least.
Financially, it's better. Financially, ramen is better. But there's a lot of studies recently that show that, like, prepackaged noodles like that, ramen and whatnot, are actually really terrible for you. And if you're eating it more than maybe once every couple of weeks, that it is pretty detrimental to your health.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that's some new studies that are coming out about that.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Rock and all.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, ramen is food. Food is sometimes kind of a loose term that we apply to things.
Real ramen, as the Japanese make it, is not like the ramen you get in those instant packs.
Sure.
I know they like meat in there. They've got fish, I think, and they're usually...
Yeah, there's the very Naruto and sometimes pork, and then they've got the individual, like, there's... onions and stuff in some of them.
Yeah. But the ramen that you get here in the States is definitely not that. It's just noodles.
I'm really enjoying the fact that we've that most of the people a good amount of the people that are interacting with us are girls. I did most of my viewership and readership prior to our quote rebranding of stuff. Were men, so I'm glad to see that we've got some girls interested in fitness stuff.
The fairer sex here. So, well, let's face it. I'm not sure what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so
I don't know
anyway, he was mentioning the Patreon earlier, and we are going to do a giveaway on the Patreon. So if you want to, join in and get a cool prize, is going to be on our Patreon for Patreon members only.
Yeah, so there will be a first prize, or like a grand prize or whatever, and then there'll be like a runner-up.
Like a smaller little thing.
Like, oh...
So, here's the deal. Second prize, runner-up prize, is just like one little amiibo. If you like Nintendo games, or if you just like collecting little figurines, that's something cool. But the bigger thing is going to be this month's Loot Crate DX, so it's like the $50 version that has like a lot of stuff in there. And so we're going to do, as soon as they come in, I've already ordered 2 of them. We're going to unbox one, and then we're going to give away the other one.
And if you, if you're a patron at any level, and we go ahead and have that, once it processes, then everybody who's processed for that month, we will put you guys into a drawing after you've commented on the giveaway post.
Which means literally you can be a patron at any level. So $1 is fine. You'll get whatever rewards the $1 people get, as well as the opportunity to potentially win the Loot Crate box.
Yeah.
This month they said the theme is Unite. This is going to be some DC Justice League stuff. Let me actually look it up here real quick. I know you're going to have some Justice League stuff. You're going to have... what else is in this box?
And we like to give away stuff. We've done shirt giveaways before. I'd like to do some more shirt giveaways because we've got a lot of really cool shirts now. If you go to nextlevelstuff.com and go to our store.
I spent all weekend designing those.
So much cool stuff on that. So yeah, go get some shirts so that people can see the channel and they can be like, hey, what is that about? And you can be like, this is the greatest show that has ever been made.
Oh, dang it.
What?
Well, it seems to have, looks like because the cutoff to get these loot crates has already gone by, they no longer have the details about what that one's going to be.
Oh, well.
But it's fine. You're going to have some Justice League stuff. You're going to have some other things in that loot crate. If we get a good response to that, we may do this semi-regularly. I mean, the next month's one is themed after Star Wars, and I know a lot of people
we may not necessarily always do a loot crate. We might. Do
probably. I mean, I would say not because I'm not the biggest loot crate fan, but I like the things that they're doing this month, so that's why I decided to go for it for everybody. We do want to do shirt giveaways. So like.
So if you want to be, we're gonna make an official announcement of the giveaway here later.
When the loot crates come in, we do the unboxing video.
Yeah.
We'll announce it.
If you want to go ahead and get a jump on that, go ahead and subscribe. Go to our Patreon, become a patron, and it will be good there. Yeah. Oh, cool. People talk about theories.
So theories. How many more do we plan on putting out? As many as we can come up with.
Because I love making theories about stuff. I can't help it. I watch a show and I'm like, pieces are coming together, and I can't help it. So, yeah, we've got a Star Wars one coming out soon.
Yeah, I would expect that sometime next week after Thanksgiving has passed. I need to edit it together, but we already have it recorded.
Yeah, we've already got the audio for it. We just need to put it together.
I mean, I wouldn't mind doing as many theories as we can. Whenever a new theory comes up, we will do it. See, we're not, a theory channel, but we do like the idea.
Well, I am not going to comment on that. You can watch the theory video.
When it comes out, do you guys think Luke is evil? Actually, you know what? That is not. It's not even a secret that a lot of people think that.
Yeah, that's not. I mean, a lot of people do think that.
Yes, we kind of think that's going to be the route, but we don't think it's going to be the way everyone's expecting.
And it's not what you expect. Okay, yeah. So
we're not. We're not going to
spoil that. So before you go watch Justice League, why don't you watch our Justice League theory and then see how that meshes up with the actual movie?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. The theory obviously doesn't spoil anything. It came out before we even saw the movie, before the movie came out. I think if you want to watch that...
Plus, it is a marvel of editing. John did an amazing job.
Oh, thank you. And so I can't wait to do the Star Wars theory. I can't wait to do more. I know that we've got... that new Star Wars trilogy. Like, the guy that directed The Last Jedi is directing his own trilogy outside of everything else that we've gotten so far.
So we don't know if that's going to be like.
So they're doing 7, 8, and 9 right now, and then once that's over, I guess we do 7, 8, and 9. There's the Rogue One. There's the Han Solo movie. I think they're still planning on doing a Boba Fett movie.
I have no idea.
But outside of that, the director of The Last Jedi is getting his own 3-movie trilogy to create all on his own, from what I hear. So who knows? There's plenty of theory fodder for us to go through. With Star Wars, with DC, with Marvel. I mean, we may want to doing some Infinity War stuff. I mean, I'm sure Ross will be doing his own anime theories as time goes on.
Yeah, I'd like to do more of those. And then, lots of stuff coming out. But like I said before, the more people that subscribe and share and become patrons, the more stuff that we can justify doing.
My gosh. Do we watch Game Theory? Yes. We watch Game Theory.
As a matter of fact, if you you this past theory, Duffy likes to make a lot of jokes. He made a lot of game theory, film theory jokes. So
like I keep trying to say that's just a theory, and Ross just keeps cutting me off. So I don't go and
get sued.
I don't think you can.
I have no idea, but
I got a fair understanding of legal stuff. But yeah. Okay, Chloe, thanks for joining us. I'm glad Blind Cow sent you here. Hope to see you again in the next live stream. It'd be great to see you again.
Yeah, glad to have you.
So, see you later. We're going to wrap up here in a bit, too. I think that, theory-wise, we're going to try and emulate sort of... that copyright infringement, though. Yeah, we're trying to, in a way, emulate what MatPat does, but we don't want it to just be a direct copy of how game theory and film theory are done. So, I've been trying to come up with other ways to kind of make it different. One idea I've had, and I've not talked to you about this yet, but one idea I have had would try and take whatever theories you come up with, because the Justice League theory and the Star Wars theory are primarily his brainchild. I help flesh them out a little bit here and there, but they're primarily his brainchild. I think it'd be interesting to do like a show where The Mentalist or some CSI thing where like you're the detective and you're like piecing together how all this stuff is going to work and trying. So
you just have a big board and there's like lines put all over the place.
Like you're trying to solve a mystery before anyone else can. So like that way it's not just, hey, here's a static image and here's some images floating on the screen, just like how game theory does it, just like how film theory does it. That's how we did the Justice League one. I think it turned out great.
That was mainly just for joke purposes, I think.
That was the only idea I had. It
was the only idea you had.
Also, you didn't want to film anything on camera for that one because you just wanted to record it on audio.
Yes.
So I didn't have much option there. But going forward, the Star Wars one's probably going to be very similar to that. Moving forward, I want to come up with a creative way to try and make it more than just, a MatPat ripoff. Because, MatPat does great work. I love most of his theories. I mean, I don't agree with every single one of them, but I think that they're fantastic to think about, and a lot of them are hilarious if you try and implement them into the rest of whatever franchise or universe he's talking about that week. So, I'm not hating on him. I think he does great work. For that reason, I don't want to just kind of ride on his coattails with theory ideas, Will we ever consider doing things like what ifs or anything in that sort of category?
Yeah, I'm not opposed to that at all.
That sounds like fun.
I love talking about what ifs for various series or movies or franchises or whatever it is. That sounds really great because that gives us the opportunity to be creative.
There's an idea that I had a while back. Y'all know the channel How It Should Have Ended. If you haven't seen that, I mean, why not? They're fantastic. They've been around for at least 10 years now, doing great videos where they make fun of how a movie ended and maybe even give it an alternate ending. What I wanted to do was actually fix movies and movies and TV shows and stuff like that. One of my biggest problems, something that I loved as a kid, was the Justice League cartoon, and something that I only recently realized is completely messed up is the way they ended it. You have this epic opportunity for an epic Superman versus Darkseid battle, and they started doing that, and then they completely cut it off too short.
Strikes. Fly, punch, go through buildings, DBZ style, double hammer fist, ground. That's it. That's the whole fight.
And then Darkseid gets up and has a magic Deus Ex Machina that makes Superman.
That was very frustrating to me.
Okay, I've never really watched too much of Wisecrack. I just haven't had time to. But that sounds interesting. I didn't know there was already something like that. But then again, with YouTube,
you can't watch everything on YouTube.
There's also a ton of stuff on here, so it's no surprise that there's already something like that. So we'll try and find a way to put our own spin on it. That's always the idea here. What I would like to do on April Fools is put out a theory about origin story. So we're theorizing
where we think it's going,
about where we think our own show is going.
That would be hilarious. I am 1,000% okay with that.
All right. So you're going to hear first, folks. If I remember, or if I write it down and actually try and remember, that'd be a good idea. But okay, so that's what we'll probably do. So any ideas you have for content on here, things you'd like to see, if you tell us about it, tweet us at Next Level Stuff or NXTLVL Stuff. Comment on one of our videos. Go to Patreon and message us there. Or
there's lots of ways to get in contact with us.
There's lots of ways to get in touch with us. You let us know what you'd like to see. Odds are we already have plans to do it, or we haven't thought about it, but we'll love the idea. So that's it. Just keep engaging with us, keep talking with us, and we would love to do more and more fun stuff like that with you guys. That said, we've been doing this for almost an hour. I'm sure Ross has places to go, and I've got work to do, get ready. See, it's kind of hard to do this week's origin story because I leave tomorrow, so we don't get a whole week of workouts.
Yep. So he's going to do some filming, and I'm going to do some filming on my own. We're going to do some stuff, different filming on Thursday, and then I'm going to send him my footage through Google Drive, and then he's going to put it all together.
I have a question. No one has talked about this in the latest episode.
What?
I'm glad that we had a mostly positive response for it, but I've got a question. What everyone thought about how we ended the last episode, where Ross gets into his car and looks at his cell phone. I have not seen anyone talk about that.
That's
and
weird
I'm just
that nobody would talk about that.
Why not? I was.
Did you just not make it to the end of the episode?
I mainly want to ask. I'm mainly asking this because I want to know what people are thinking that means, or what we're referencing, or if anyone has any theories.
Because we'd love to hear. We'd love to hear your theories about where the show's going. Because you remember, it's about 50% scripted. So there is a storyline.
I'd like to know what people thought about that. Since we've got 4 people on here still, we might be able to get a couple of answers. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, but if you're coming at this later after the live stream and you have seen the last episode,
you're obviously more than welcome
to leave a comment about that. What your theory is about it, because we'd love to hear what you have to say. Because we know where it's going. For the most part, we know where it's going. We know where it's going. Unless something happened, it's like John gets hit by, a bicycle person, a bicycle cop or something like that. So,
we know where it's going in a perfect world.
Yeah.
As if I successfully lose 3 pounds every single week, we know exactly where it's going week by week.
But
like last week, I had a really bad problem trying to keep.
So we had to
on with my
change
diet.
how we did this entire episode this week because last week.
Because last week Duffy screwed up.
Yeah, there was some mess, but you know what? It gets an opportunity to learn, and it's to show you guys that it's okay to fail because you can just pick yourself up and keep on moving. If every time you fail, get up and do more. Fall down 7, get up 8.
Well, I don't want to fall down 7. Sensei is hiding something.
I hide nothing.
Sensei is hiding something, and my character knows nothing about it. In fact, I'm not fully sure what it is either in real life. So, I'm not sure you know what it is.
Nobody knows what.
No one knows what it is yet.
It's a mystery.
We just know that we wanted to throw in something to kind of hint at the fact that something is happening, and that there is going to be an overarching story. And I can't wait to get into it. We've got some. We have a very rough skeletal idea. And I look forward to fleshing it out and watching you guys see it.
And if you guys want to be a part of that, like I said, our Patreon.
Oh my goodness, dude, stop it. You're being a commercial. Shh. You can only do this once per live stream.
No, it's not true.
Once an hour.
Okay, fine. Once an hour. But, okay.
Uh-oh.
We welcome your...
We're already in the second hour.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to finish it before he goes back into commercial mode again.
Anyway, so thanks so much for watching, guys. We really enjoy doing these live streams with you. When we do them, if you would share them and, tell your friends to come in here and ask questions. We even would welcome trolls.
Hey, I'd love to argue
attention
with
attention is attention at this point. So...
Wow. You are so desperate.
No, I'm really not.
So desperate.
No, but I enjoy interacting with you guys. You guys have been fantastic. I love talking to you. You guys really good questions. And you guys are always a pleasure. That's okay, rocking all the time. I imagine you probably could be.
Sure, anyone could be a troll.
Yeah.
I could be a troll. Hey, tell you what, I will leave. I'll sign into my other YouTube account, and I will come on here and I will troll you, okay?
No.
Well, that's it for today, guys and gals. Thanks so much for watching. We had a lot of fun with you today.
Yep. Until next time, good luck and train hard.
Bye.